Hey yo,
It's Mental Health Monday with a smile.
listen up, jabronis. It's Mental Health Monday. We're live.
We're live.
My notification just came in. Did yours? You like
Oh,
that?
because we just went live. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I see
my
what you did there.
notification just beeped in on my computer because I like and follow and subscribe to Chase and Shep on every platform that I can.
On
Mainly
every
because I have
platform.
to.
What
You
What
don't
are those
have to.
platforms?
Facebook, Twitch,
Do you?
Snapchat.
I was gonna say, do you know all the platforms?
We're on YouTube. I don't know
Yeah,
why I didn't think YouTube.
yeah. It's kind of the
I
big
was
one.
just giving everything where we're at. I was just thinking we're at chaseandshep.com. You can find that scrolling across
Hmm.
the
So
bottom
just
down here. Ticker taping.
ticker
Mental Health
taping
Monday.
around.
Chase, how's the mind? How's the mind right now?
How's the mind? It's safe to say that I'm having an off day today.
An off day. Okay.
I am
Okay.
having an off day
Sometimes
to
those are halved.
yeah.
Of
To segue into today's theme,
yes.
off days, man, they can be a bitch. They truly can
Mm-hmm.
be. I have felt like the biggest shitbag today. Just not. I just really haven't done anything. One of those things where like trying to lay down to take a nap and you just can't sleep. So now you've just laid in bed for like 3 hours and you're like, well, that's great. I didn't get anything done. You know. Uh, but it's one of those things, man, that with mental health, I was talking to my mom about it a little bit today because right now I just started doing DoorDash recently, and
Okay.
it's one of those things that like for me with my anxiety and everything, it's a good choice as far as like I've got flexibility with my hours. Like I don't have anybody like hovering over me. It's like all things considered, like it's gonna come with stress like any other job, but like really it's a pretty stress free job. For the most part, other than like having to drive around and shit like that. But it's still, it was one of those things that like it occurred to me, like, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. I struggle. I
Right.
struggle with whatever the job is because of my mental health problems. And that even goes as far as to like, even with before doing DoorDash, I've been doing all this. It's like it's not like I've just been sitting around on my ass for over a year. I have been busting my ass for over a year on everything that we've been working on, and the unfortunate truth is we just don't get paid for these things. So that
This is a
can
fact.
cause some stress. But even doing this, something that I love to do, I have my off days. Making summer camp has, I've had my off days. Scripts have been late to people.
Yeah.
Editing
Feel that.
isn't getting done as fast as it needs to. Things like that, just because I just feel like I can't function sometimes. Like I just have those days where I wake up and I'm just like, I just have nothing.
Well,
I just very
to f-
lethargic.
maybe it might make you feel a little better. They said like everything was in retrograde just the other day too. So feeling off at this time period is a thing. You know what I'm saying?
True,
If you believe in that sort of stuff, which I
true.
mean,
So
I
that
mess with it.
accounts. So that accounts for this week. But what about every other off
What about
day?
every other week? But I
What
mean,
about
no,
when
like, bro,
you know?
there's definitely off days. Like a lot of my off days come from my own doing. I feel like
Hmm.
doing too much the day before, and then the next day you're
Right.
waking up and
Yeah.
you're just not
Yeah.
having it. But like, there's those off days, those weird off days where it's just like the everyday functional tasks that you do just don't seem like you're hitting it right. You know what I'm saying? And just
Hmm.
like you're like, damn. Like, oh yeah, I brushed my teeth, but I forgot to use the mouthwash. Like, damn, okay,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah.
something like that. I washed my face in the shower, but I forgot to put on my moisturizer when I got out. Damn, because I fucks with all that shit. I do this constantly
Like
too, man.
I'm like right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, like I seen this guy the other day at my job. He popped the wrong door open and really fucked this door up. Because I was like, yeah, homie, that door's it's closed. Like that's the wrong one. I don't know how you
Yeah.
didn't notice until it like literally fucked the store up. But it's like he was having an off day, obviously.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah. Um. And I don't know, man. I think sometimes off days really can just like threaten all those other good days sometimes, depending on, because, like you said, there's those off days where you just did too much. Is that
Where's the lotion at?
he's got to look for the lotion.
I didn't know there
He's
was
all
lotion
he's
by
all
the
he's
bed.
all out. He's all out of the lotion.
Where is there? Is the lotion by the bed? I have lotion somewhere around here, so I was gonna be like, is it right there?
But yeah, there's definitely those off days where you drank too much or some shit like that, and the next day you're just like not feeling life. Ah, there it is.
Shout outs to
Oh,
the
look at
Dr.
the
Teal's
thanks,
body
Doc.
lotion right here by the computer, actually, Pudgy. Come
Thanks,
on,
Doc.
dude. Come on,
That's a
bro.
moist
Come
man right
on.
there.
Hey, come on, bro. Right by the computer. You already. Come on, bro. You know the game. Nah,
You know the
I
vibes.
have to use that shit, like
Uh,
especially in the winter time. Lotion is my blessing, or I'll have dry ass skin. So
oh, I feel
that's
that.
what it
I
is.
feel that.
Yeah.
Uh, welcome to Moisturized Mondays. Oh God, is it going to be another one of those Mondays? America's Moist One.
Hey,
Yeah.
the moist sea show on Monday. Mental Health Mondays with Chase and Shep. We're getting your mind right, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about off
Yeah.
days.
But yeah,
Sorry.
man. I don't know. It's just like sometimes those off days can really throw you
Mhm.
off your groove. No matter how many good days you're having. And so, like, days like today, for me, are one of those things where I'm feeling like everything's just fucked, essentially, to
I feel
put it
that.
bluntly. That's just the feeling that I got. But, like, to look at everything I got going on in life right now and to see how things are going. And, like, it's one of those things that I have to force myself to say, man, everything your brain is telling you right now, like none of that shit's true. None of that shit's true. We were just talking about girls before going live, you know, and being
We were
being
talking about girls.
girls, oh, uh, you know,
Woo!
and me being a little bit of a sad boy about it and shit like that. But it's like one of those things as well, where it's like we also recently talked about how that doesn't bother me entirely. Like it's just one of those things where, like, on an off day, that's going to feel like a bigger problem than it actually is.
For
On an
sure.
off day, I'm going to feel like, you know, something we've talked about on the show before that, like, I constantly have to do is tell myself that everything's fine, like everything's good, like, and you just have to trust in yourself. Even if you don't believe it, even if you don't believe yourself, you just gotta
True.
you gotta take that word, because
Trust the
like,
process.
we got a lot of shit to get done before Friday. It's a long week. I gotta make sure I can pay my bills come the weekend. I got my sister's wedding this weekend. We have 31 Slays kicking off. I have to make all this music for my release. I don't know how yours is going, but
Oh,
I got
buddy.
like
We can get into that if you want. It's not going
uh,
bad. It's not going bad. I'm just like it's not where I want it to be. So it's like, but it's crunch time at the same time. So like I
mhm,
get where you're coming with these off days and feeling stressed. Like of course, but I've just learned to just like,
mhm,
trust in the process, and trust in your, intuition, your vibe,
mhm.
and if you try to force this creativity when it's not there, you're not going to be satisfied with the results. So you might as well just flow with the creativity where it's at,
Mhm.
like, and that's the kind of
Yeah,
things I've been doing. And if
yeah.
it, like I'm not bummed because if worst comes to worst, it's like one song I got done, but it's just not vibing with how it turned out. You know what I'm saying? One of
No,
those things that it's
yeah,
like
I feel you.
I
Yeah.
like it, but I don't feel like this is a oh, here's my first album that I'm putting out release type of song. Like maybe to throw out on Halloween, like, hey, here's an extra, scrap B-side track. Like, cool.
Right, right.
And there's another one that I wanted a lot more people on than just myself. That all fell through, didn't really go down. So it's like, I could finish it, but I really don't want to finish it myself.
Right.
But like
It's not what you had in mind. It's not your vision, I
it's
suppose.
not what I had in mind, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm using all my avenues to get what I want done with it, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think so.
there's certain places I could be going with this, like this song, and dropping and being like, "Hey, I'm about to put this up on Spotify and all the stores and shit like that. If you want to drop some spooky shit on here, drop some spooky shit on here and send it my way." And I bet I could get that done. But like, I'm just now thinking of that idea, like that, like what I'm saying. Like this option is just now coming up in my head as like, oh yeah, that's right. We can do that these days, and just get
Right.
some
Yeah.
motherfuckers I don't know on the track
Yeah.
and show some love to some people I don't know. But like,
True.
uh
True.
I don't know, man. Like at the same time, I'm not really bugging because like
Hmm.
I could just take the two songs off if I'm really tripping that much. I can just be like, fuck it,
Yeah.
take the two songs off and put two skits on there. Put like another song. Like, I was playing
Hmm.
you the song that our horror series had inspired the other night. I could just
Yeah.
sit around,
Yeah.
fuck with that one and be like, fuck it, I'll finish this and put that shit up on there. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like there's always options, I feel like, and that's like goes back to our earlier episodes in the month where we talked about like adapting and adjusting and
Yeah.
reconfiguring where you're going and where you're looking for
Hmm.
and not really hanging on to those expectations of an outcome you really figured you're getting, and just let it flow naturally
Hmm.
and take the outcome that how it comes.
Yeah. To kind of go off of that a little bit again, to jump back to like a previous episode of I think with off days like the one I'm having today, I have to both go with the flow and go against the flow almost simultaneously, in the sense that I wake up today and literally like I open my eyes like and that's how I know like it's going to be one of those days. Sometimes I can like, skirt, just avoid it altogether. Like I know I had one the other day that I woke up, I opened my eyes, and within like the first 5 minutes of laying in bed, I have thought of every stressor I could possibly think of, and I just had to be like, "Bro, knock that shit off. You haven't even touched the floor yet. Like, like you're good. Like it'll get done." So like a day like today, you keep trying, you keep, oh, I'll go do that. I went and grabbed lunch with my mom, uh, and all you could sit there and you can think, oh fuck, I got all this shit that needs to get done. I need to get all this done, and all you're going to do is stress yourself out, overwhelm yourself, and then nothing is going to get done. Whereas I get home and I'm thinking, maybe I need to go drive, like I need to make some money, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to make music, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I'm like, bro, I'm exhausted, I'm so mentally tired. Like I didn't get very good sleep last night or the night before, the several
Oh,
weeks
I got
of
good ass
not good
sleep
sleep.
last night, bro. I don't know what it
Man, I
was.
wish I did. I don't know what the fuck was up, but
Well, I would say the
so
night before too, I got some good sleep.
well, yeah.
I'm
Uh,
not gonna doubt that.
so it's like one of those things where I had to just tell myself, bro, go get back in bed. Go get back in bed. You don't have to turn the TV on. You don't have to watch
That's
a
a
movie. You
vibe
don't
I
have to do
always
shit.
strive with, bro.
You can just go get back in bed. Go with the flow, because at some point you might be laying there and go, I don't want to do this. Maybe you get up, you mosey on to the computer, maybe you start fucking around, you get a little bit of this done, a little bit of that done. You go with that flow. Whereas the going against the flow is that societal flow of being like, get the fuck out of bed and do something. You know what I mean? Like that feeling of like, no, you've
Well,
got to get up and go and grind and this and that. And sometimes a part of the grind is coming to a full stop.
no,
Sometimes
I
you got to
vibe
come
with
to a
that,
full
bro.
stop and let the,
Well,
just
like
let
that goes
let
back to
yourself
what I
coast a
was.
little bit.
Well, and it goes back to like what I was just saying, and how like I could be narrowing in on these 10 tracks that I got, and like stressing like,
Hmm.
no, these are the 10 tracks I chose. I need to get them done, get them right. Um, but like going against that flow, just letting it flow, creativity. However, it got a
Hmm.
brand new song made, and it's like, oh
Exactly.
shit, now we got a new song that now we have a third choice we can put in there. We can take one of these out, keep one of these in. We can, now I got some playing room, which is nice to have. It's very nice
Exactly.
to have.
Yeah.
And like I said, you just got to let go of those expectations of any sort of
Hmm.
outcome.
Yeah.
Like
I
I think
mean,
that's
I
the big one for me. Is
definitely.
always
I mean,
not building up your own expectations within your mind of how something should go or how something will go, and just letting it go.
yeah,
Essentially,
yeah. Just letting it happen, let it be, as they say. Um, yeah, man. Yeah.
yeah,
I
man.
no, I would say a big example is the show. We've used that as an example a lot, where it's one of those things that we had a certain expectation, and we
Yeah,
let that shit go. We let that shit go, and we constantly let that show live and breathe and become what it needs to be. And not just summer camp. Honestly, the Chase and Shep show has always gone off of that. I mean,
Always off
since
that
day one
trail.
of the
Yeah.
Chase and Shep show, we've always based it on let's just let the show do its thing. Like let's do
Besides
what
this,
feels right.
besides this specific show, this
The
specific
Mental
show
Health Mondays, yeah.
has never changed, has always been here, and probably will
Yeah.
always be here because they're
I was
always
gonna
such a
say.
nice vibe. It's always such a nice vibe just to be able to get the week started off, just getting some
Mhm.
shit off your chest or getting some shit out of your mind. You can comment some stuff if you ever want, if you're ever listening to our videos and you want us to talk about some stuff that may be on topic, maybe off topic. You know, who cares, right? We
Yeah,
go with the flow. But
exactly.
going back on flow about off days. I always like to take my off days and remind myself of, you know, you got to have them off days to appreciate them on days where you're on
Mhm.
point and you are like killing it and you're like, damn, I'm getting a lot done and this and that. So I always try to remind myself that when I'm having an off day and I'm having a down day, like
Mhm.
it's okay to, you know, like to me, it's always okay to live in that, you know, for that day. Yeah, you can
Mhm.
have it. You know, you can have today
Right.
and it can be an off day. You can be down and you can be sad. You can ignore the world, not text, you know, not check, you know, check your text and be on Facebook or, you know, be posting snaps, but without checking anybody's stories because you just don't feel like it, man. But like,
Mhm.
I don't try to live in it past a day. Like you know,
I agree.
I like to feel it. I like to experience or whatever and get it done with. Hit the ground running the next day back to
I
it
think right
because
there you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I've always been pro feel your feels, you know, like
mhm,
especially like when it comes to like depression, you know, I've always learned that the best way to deal with my depression is by embracing it, feeling out why I'm sad, having that cry, doing what I need to do, you know, like
yeah,
and it will go away. It will go away the next day. But
legitimately.
if I sit in it, if I bask in it, if I let it, you know, consume me and I'm just like, nah, I guess it's all right. I guess I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, sad boy for life over here, you know. It's just like,
I've
no,
had
like
those
it's
moments though, man.
and
I've
and
lived
and
in
that's
that.
gonna happen. And that's I
Yeah.
guess what I was, you know, when I say like you'll have those off days that threaten to ruin everything, you know. We've uh we've had that situation with some homies recently, you know, where they've just had real off days, you know what I mean? Like the real off days where you're just like, I can't anymore, you know, and like I get it. You know, that happens to a lot of people. But it's one of those things where you have to remind yourself this is an off day. You know, things may feel bad and you may feel like this is the worst day of all those bad days, but it's an off day, man. You know,
I feel
it's an
that.
off day.
And if you can't do that for yourself, it's always best to surround yourself with a team that can
Hmm.
definitely come in and remind you. You know, having the people that do, you know, like some people hate on it when people show their feelings on social medias and shit like
Hmm.
that. But as you know, I've lost a lot of people due to depressions and suicides and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
anytime I can see somebody has, you know, reached out there, like
Hmm.
ain't no questioning that. Like I'm gonna hit them up and
Oh
be
yeah.
like, no, this world's a better place because you're here, whether you see it or not. Like it's gonna change if you leave. Like it ain't gonna be the same, son.
Right.
So like, you know,
Yeah. The person who
you're
hurt
having them.
you may, you know, feel a certain type of way, but I'm gonna miss the fuck out of you. Like I appreciate your existence, you know, whether that other person does or not.
Well,
You
it's
know,
not
you
even
can't
like
let
that
that.
though. Like I feel like there's some decisions in life that we have to make that are gonna hurt people's feelings, and it's not like your intention is to like, you know, put them in that place.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I
like
mean,
it's just like, man, you know, like things are so complex with us as humans and our brains and
mm,
shit. So like it always just depends on like that relationship you have with the person. You know, is this a friend? Is this more of a
mhm,
romantic relationship type thing? Because like romantic relationships, once they're done, they're
true.
severed. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Yeah.
is it your place to come in and really be there for that person if they go through some shit or no? Because some people would be like, yeah, you know, like yeah, but like
Mhm,
other people would be like, nah, like
yeah.
friendships.
And
I think I
even
can
then, I
always be
think
there
there's
for.
still like, you know, more complex answers to that. You
Oh
know, I
yeah.
think it also
Oh
still
yeah.
depends. Like, you know, even if you severed things and shit like that, like if it's a situation where like, you know, motherfuckers on a bridge, like, maybe I'll put our past relationship aside and be like, hey, maybe maybe step back. Maybe step back from the bridge. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I mean?
mean, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. Like if they're just like, sending out those sad vibes into the world and you hitting them up and being like, "Hey, how are you? Are you doing okay? You want to talk?" It's like, yeah, maybe not with like
Not
romantic
the best.
relationships because
Yeah,
that
not
can
the best.
lead to more off days. But that's like a whole other thing.
Yeah.
well,
No, we've
maybe
all
one of
been
these
down
days
them.
Valentine's Day will fall on a Monday, and we can just really, really have a like a 3 hour
I'll have
long
to
mental
see
health
because
Monday.
I had to look today to see when Christmas fell, and it is on a Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
I think Saturday. Saturday is Christmas this year.
nice. Our last day of work before our Christmas vacation.
So props to Christmas.
Props to Christmas.
That is a very good point too. It will be on a Saturday, so we're gonna take Sunday off and chill.
Nice. And then just take that week until New
Valentine's
Year's
Day
probably.
2022 is on a Mental Health Monday.
Hey, look
There
at
you go.
that. Look
There
at
you
that.
go. So what
God,
did that? Yeah,
you know what's gonna happen is you and I are both gonna be in relationships by that point, and then like we're just gonna be like, hey, let's talk about something else today. We're not gonna get into any of that shit that we previously said we were
if
gonna get
I'm in a
into. Let's just
relationship come Valentine's Day, I'm with it because we'll probably have to do a pre-recorded one if you know what I'm
right,
saying
yeah.
because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I
gotta
feel
you
you.
gotta
I
get
feel
down
you.
with
I
the
feel
you
you.
gotta get down with the vibes of the day even though it's just like it's totally like a Hallmark holiday, but fuck it, who gives a shit, man? You only live
Fuck
once.
it.
You only live once, guys.
Right.
Celebrate the
Love,
holidays if you
love
want to
is dope.
celebrate the holidays, or don't if you don't. But I will.
Yeah.
I'll celebrate the fuck out of the holidays. Chocolate covered strawberries and everything. But
Right. If we
if
didn't, Chase and Shep would be
if
very
if we are
lackluster.
single on Valentine's Day,
It's on.
it
It's
is
fucking on.
on for Mental Health Monday. We're telling all. We're gonna
It's
tell
gonna
about
be epic.
everybody that's hurt the mental health over the
Epic.
years. No, I would not.
No.
I wouldn't.
That's
They're
super
all good
bad.
people.
That's
Like
super bad
then,
idea.
well,
No.
and that's the thing. I always. Sorry, get back into it. It's always the things I remind myself is that deep down when you get down to it is like people make their own choices and decisions, and we always take it personal, and we always think it had something to
Mhm.
do with us or something we did, but 90% of the time it's on them and their own choices and what they think is the right
Mhm.
choice and the right decision. And it might hurt our feelings, and it might make us
Yeah.
sad, but that doesn't make them bad people just because they made a choice within a moment that they thought was the best choice that they should make at that moment. You know what I'm saying and
Exactly.
shit. So like
Oh yeah.
there
As
ain't no
much as
there.
as much as we're sitting here talking shit, I don't
Yeah,
I honest to God don't think I
I'm
have
bringing it.
a single
I'm
ex girlfriend that I could say she's a terrible person.
I'm breaking it
Because
down word
you
to
know,
DX. I'm breaking it down. Yeah, no, they're not terrible people. We've done terrible
no,
things, but we're not terrible people.
right.
Just hey, I'm just preaching to the choir right now, you guys. I don't know, like,
Preach. Preach.
and those create the off days, so it's all within a
Mhm.
full circle here. It's all still
Yep.
on topic. I'm trying to say we got off the topic there because it's all on topic. They
Yeah.
create
Don't
bad
try.
days,
Don't even try it.
but it happens, man. Like every storm has an end.
Hmm.
And I've told people that like plenty of times, because you're gonna go through it, and it's gonna seem like it's not gonna have an end, but it will. It will. It can.
Always.
It
Yeah.
can. That's what I should say. It can. It might not, but it
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like to me, there is a certain point where it's in your
Mhm.
hands.
Well,
So
and that's a good way to, because I know for me, when it comes to dealing with mental health issues, it's like it's I always preface, like, whenever I give advice to people like on a personal level about things that I do to like work through it, things that I've learned through like Taoism and stuff like that, where I'm just like, all of these concepts as to like to heal ourselves and stuff, they're all simple. They're very simple things, but people confuse simple and easy. I never said that shit was easy. Not in a million years is that shit easy. It's simple. It's not easy. We're not built for simple. The human brain is not built for simple. Because we're always going to overcomplicate things. So like days like today that I'm having, an off day, um, I'm still having to put in that work, that mental work to be okay. It's exactly what you just said. That storm can pass. If you really wanted to. And so like today I could have just decided No, this is how life is. This is, I'm depressed. I'm right to be depressed about these things. I believe everything my mind is feeding me right now. And that storm is just going to keep going every single day if I continue to wake up with this thought process. But no, I have to actively work against my own mind and say, no, dude, you're making shit up. None of that's true. None of that's true. And you have to combat that with like, no, look at what's going on though. Look at what you got going on in your life. Look at the work you've put in. You know, look at the growth, and doing this show has been like, now we have this like thing that we've created that we can literally go back and at any point in time and literally just look at our growth. Like the proof is there,
Proof is in
whether
the
that's just
pudding, man.
woo the
Oh, I'm getting hype.
whether it's the
Get
you
me
know
hype over here.
whether it's us as creatives or just as people,
I don't
you
want to.
like the growth is there.
The growth is there, man. And like I said, the proof is in the pudding. I like putting it out there because it's been like that's how it's been with my music too. Like you can go back and
Putting it
listen to
out there.
you can go listen to that first shit I ever like really put out and be like, damn, this is whack. But then go listen to the newest things we're putting out and be like, oh, okay. He's obviously improved over time and learned a lot more than he knew back then. And that's to me, that's what the process is about. I'm having fun. We're doing things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to gloat and be like all braggy or nothing here at all. But like, I don't know of
The
any
only person I
other.
want to really brag to is myself. Like I'm the only
Well,
person
yeah.
I'm trying to brag to because like I want to be able to tell myself, yo, you fucking did it. You did
Well,
it.
it's
Look
like
at what you did.
I don't know anybody else out there putting out a series on YouTube like an 8-part story series. Not saying that they're
Mhm.
not around here. I'm not saying they're not
Yeah.
at all. I'd love to see it if they are. If anybody
Yeah.
knows of anybody doing it, please tag me in that shit. I'd love to see it. But I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
there is moments that, yeah, you're saying you're stressed. You're fucking like, damn, and thinking about shit and like, fuck, man, we got a lot to film and a little bit of time, type shit. And it's like you got to remind yourself that those things, like the bigger picture.
Mhm.
You're doing something that not very many people's around here doing. They ain't attempting
Mhm.
it. They might want to do it, but they're not like just doing it. And we just did it. This
We
was no
did, and
like,
that's just been the
yeah,
attitude the whole
oh,
time. Is
we're gonna,
we're just gonna do it. Yeah,
yeah, and it's
we're
not
not.
like we're like, oh, let's plan this out. Let's take like a year's time and really get everything. No, like we just ended up doing it, and then
Mhm.
like, people ended up fucking with that because they could see, a couple, well, a group of people, because I won't even say it's two dudes at this point. It's all of us. It's the whole
No,
group
it's definitely
involved
all of us. Yeah.
with that summer camp thing, and we're all doing this together, and people are seeing that, and they're like, damn, that's cool, and want to see where that story could go.
Hmm.
So like, come the next one, it's going to be so much, like we will be able to
Yeah.
sit there and plan it out for the whole entire winter and spring and be like, ah ha ha ha, ha, this is what we're going to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's going to
And
be
I
like,
know, like,
a level up from where we are, because the growth is going to continue to be looked at and
mhm.
be in there, because that is things we talk about every Monday, and that's things, on my personal Facebook I'd be posting about all the time and stuff. And that's, I'm 34 years old. That doesn't mean I need to stop learning. That doesn't mean I've learned all
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
can learn. Like, no, I can continue to learn. I can continue to realize things even now at 34 that I believe are wrong and change. I can unlearn
Hmm.
as well as learn.
Exactly. Which is just as important, if not
Very
more
much so.
important sometimes.
Yeah.
But because I was gonna say, like, I know one thing that crosses my mind today is, like I was saying, we got all this shit we got to get done before Friday, you know. But even after Friday, it's like we still got a lot more to do with summer camp and all sorts of other stuff. And I know you and I are just looking forward to November 1st, but I was even thinking about that today. I'm like, we're gonna hit November 1st, and it's funny because I feel like we've been doing this for months. Where it's like, yeah, when we hit this time, we're just gonna chill, but then the ball keeps rolling because we love it. We're excited. We want that creativity, just like keeps us going. But thinking about all that stuff that needs done and proceeding to stress out about it and be like, oh my god, how are we going to get all this done? I have to remind myself, hey, the last time you thought about this and stressed out about this exact same scenario, how did it go? How did it go down? Everything got done that needed to get done, didn't it? And it's just as simple as that. Just reminding yourself, hey man, chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. It's all good. It's all good. It'll get
Well,
done.
that
You'll do
and
what you
just
need to do.
and just like taking those, like I said, and get to take those moments and appreciate them
Hmm.
of realizing this stress right now,
Hmm.
because we do have a lot of stuff to put in work wise until Friday,
Hmm.
on both of our ends, not only just
Yeah.
like creativity wise while chasing Shep, but on our own end
Yeah.
separately we
Hmm.
do. But we both also have these weekend plans that we're going to do. So to me, it's like you got to focus on like, I can manage this stress right now throughout the week.
Hmm.
So come this weekend, I can really just
Exactly.
drop
Hmm.
that off and be able to let loose and be like,
Hmm.
cool, knowing that on Monday I'm gonna step right back into work mode. Okay, shit, all right. So
Hmm.
now what do we need to get fucking knocked out for this week and get
Exactly.
rolling? And
Yeah, because that's one of those things. I'd hate to carry this stress into the weekend and ruin my experience. With it's my sister's wedding. I should be having a good old time.
yeah,
And something else I was going to say as well is in 2020, I say that this is year one. Easy and I talked about this yesterday. I say this is year one because Chase and Shep started, basically at the beginning of the year. So I've always kind of counted this as year one. But it was
yeah, the
2020 that
spider.
I said, uh, "Year of the Spider, baby." Uh, it was 2020 that I said, I believe I read RZA's book that year and just saw the whole thing about RZA telling the Wu-Tang Clan, "Give me 5 years, give me 5 years, and I will take us all to the top." And in 5 years' time, he did exactly that. And so in 2020, I basically said the same thing to Phil. I said, "Phil, give me 5 years, 5 years, and we're going to the top." And so I would say 2020 was year one of this 5 year plan. And with that being said, 2020 was not, as I put it, the easy. It wasn't a failure. It was a land of failures. 2020 was a big, massive land of failures on so many fronts. We started the Phil and Chase podcast. It didn't pan out. It eventually fell apart. We started filming Trentwood. Fell apart. Didn't work. Things came up. COVID, life, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. All of these things happened. All of these failures happened in 2020 that set the groundwork for everything we did in 2021.
Hmm?
2020 is when I first started messing around with music. It was okay. I'm about to release the Halloween thing. That's another one of those things that other people can listen to this, be like, this is garbage. This is clearly just garage band beats and shit like that, like one of those things. But to me, I hear that improvement from my last thing to this thing, and I still don't take myself seriously as a musician because like it's just something I like to do for fun. And that's why, I'm not gonna care about that sort of thing. But like to stay on point here, 2020 was a land of failures, and all of those failures led to what we've got going now. So with this being year two, we have succeeded at so many things. So many things. Somebody texted me last night and said, you've immortalized yourselves. And it's like, that's very true. I think about that a lot. I think about, if either one of us
It's
was to pass away,
that's weird to think about. That's weird to think about in that aspect of things. But
uh-huh.
it is something that like I have reminded people like through my music, like
Hmm.
like just that the comforting thing that comes from me doing all this stuff is if I just suddenly tragically was met my end,
Hmm.
there is so much out there for people to go listen to, watch,
Hmm.
vibe with, that like, am I really gone?
Exactly. Exactly. If you ever want a reminder of what we were like, we got the
Knock
Chase
on
and
wood.
Shep show. Like it's just one of those things where it's
Yeah.
like that's us in our purest form. You got our creativity, you
Just a
got our
couple of
music, we
guys
got
chopping it up.
chopping it up.
Just chopping
But
it up over here. Couple
and
friends
and
chopping it up.
and even then, that even on the other side of that, if we've said before, if we passed away today, we're gonna die doing what we loved. We were out here trying to live our best life, trying to do what we wanted to do, and live our life to the fullest. Um, and that feels good, man. And that feels good, and that excites me. If this is year two, and year two isn't even over yet, and we still have so much going on before this year comes to a close, and already seeing the lineup for 2022, like just even pick like two fucking projects we're doing next year, and they're already so much bigger than what we did this year. And damn well we're not just going to stop at those two projects. We got tons of shit that's going to go down in 2022 that's going to move us up to the next level. um and it's just all about that growth, man.
Facts,
Uh,
dude. And it's facts. And it's hard though. Like one thing I did want to point out when you were bringing this all up, it's hard when you're first getting those failures
hmm
to be able to look and maybe, like it'd be so dope to be able to look and see down the road and be able
hmm
to go like, oh, but that's what these failures are gonna lead to. But I believe like having that mindset though, just having that mindset going through life where something does come up that seems like a failure to you. Maybe you get out, a relationship breaks up.
hmm
And we always look at it like, oh, why me? Like, why did this have to happen? Now I'm alone, I'm lonely, and all this
hmm
stuff. But like to look at failure as a way of what is this setting me up for? What is this bouncing me off to next though? What's
hmm
coming, what's out there next that I had to get away from that to get to, or anything like that that goes in life. If you get let go from a job or something, it's
Yeah.
easy to get right down into a funk and be down on yourself. But it's like, but what is that freeing you up to go do now? Like, what's the next
Yeah.
thing out there? Because you might be able in a year's time to take a look back at that failure and be like, damn, but if I didn't have that failure, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I really like where I'm
Mhm.
at today.
Yeah. Lifestyles of the independent. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. You know how we do it over here.
That's right. Go check out Camp Nostalgic if you haven't already.
Yeah, I did. I
They
checked
got
that
some great
episode
shit.
out today. It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
I told you it was pretty funny. Definitely gave me a good laugh.
No, yeah, I really
And Dave,
enjoyed
if
it.
you're still
Gonna check
here,
it out.
I almost had to tell somebody I was a Chesapeake Valley park ranger yesterday. We had a park ranger on our tail when we were filming, so I'm like, it's okay. I'm a park ranger too. Don't worry about it. I work for
Don't worry,
Chesapeake
bud.
Valley.
We're all
But
good. We're all out here. I'm just doing the same things.
yeah, uh,
No, I do. I really like
yeah.
it. And
No,
that's
I agree.
that's another one of those things, man. Like getting into doing what we've been doing has opened up and got us in seeing that. I didn't even know before that about them. And being able
Yeah.
to get to see them and go dive through and check out videos of people here in the area that are on the same vibes as us and doing the same things.
Mhm.
It's been fun and it's been good.
Well, like what you were saying, I mean, like I know when I was getting real low on things, I just thought to myself, if I, put my work into or just, put myself into the work, like start being more serious about this craft, and if this is genuinely what I want to do in life, the people I want to surround myself with will emerge.
Mhm.
As I focus on myself, I will find those people, because I was feeling lonely. I was feeling like I wasn't able to meet people and stuff like that because I wasn't able to work. But as I proceeded to do this and just focus on this, focus on building myself, people have come, man. I've met some great people over the years doing this. Dave and I were grabbing lunch on Sunday. So, like I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the future of maybe doing some collaboration with Camp Nostalgic. Like, that's another big like step forward for Chase and Shep. Uh,
I think so
is
too.
is
I definitely agree.
collaborating with another studio, and we're super excited about that. What you were saying about the relationships, man, like I think now, I just told you this is shouts out to me 2 year single anniversary this week, but your boy's going to be on the prowl at that wedding Saturday, but it's one of those things that like I know whoever is next is going to get the best version of me. I've never left a relationship. Of course you have those moments of like, oh, woe is me. Why did they do this to me? Oh, all that shit. But I've always left every relationship and taken accountability. I've taken accountability for the things that I've done, the things that I may have been bad about in a relationship, things that I needed to work on, and I was able to take all that stuff, take those lessons, and now I know whoever gets me next is gonna get the best version of me. Is going to get a version of me who has learned all of these lessons already, who has had those failures in past relationships, and instead of being the type of person who beats their head against the wall and does these same things over and over again, has more failed relationships, continues to have those off days of being like, woe is me, what's going on, like why does this keep happening? I'm able to see, hey, I might be the problem, and avoiding those things the next time around, and if the next one fails, that means I have more to learn,
It's
or
true, man. And
I need to go
sometimes
be a monk.
well, and sometimes the failure comes and it's not, maybe it's not you. Maybe you had to be the
Hmm.
lesson for somebody else in another time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
sometimes the
like that.
failures that we get aren't really always on us. But I do think, like I said, I do think if you at least learn a lesson through anything, you didn't really fail. You know, you did take
Exactly.
an L, and that's how I always like told it to myself. You take an L for sure, but you didn't fail completely because you learned something. So the next go around, you might do something a little bit different, a little bit better, and you might get different results, or you might get the same results, and you might, you know, have to take a lesson from that, and that might make you
Mhm.
change it up and stuff. But like, yeah, no, I really vibe with you on that. What you're saying, a lot of this is you can let it slingshot you into a better spot when you get to the next spot, especially like relationships. You got to take the key aspects that you liked from a relationship and the stuff that you feel like you might have came up short on, try
Mhm.
to improve that with yourself, but always hold on to those like really key nice aspects that you're like, yo, this, you know, this was a good, or even if it's like, oh, you know, this person did this for me and that's the first time that that's happened, like maybe I should do,
Mhm.
you know, like I could carry that on. But I think,
Right.
you know, like I said, if you learn a lesson, you ain't gonna take the L. But if you just walk away like it wasn't me, I was fine. That ain't on me. Fuck it. I'm a
Mhm.
perfect person. You know, like you're just gonna
Right.
continue
Then
going
you're
down
not
those
learning
same
anything. Yeah.
cycles. Yeah, same
Yeah.
paths. You're gonna keep failing.
I'm
You're gonna
looking
keep
at
failing.
you, everybody who's like, oh, all women and slash men are the same. Are they? Are they? Or is it
They're
you?
not, man. They're not. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I always just found that one to be like funny because like I don't think any two people are the same. Always got to learn. You're right,
Hey,
though. Always got
always,
to learn.
always, always. You should be a teacher with that kind of
Oh wait.
attitude.
Oh
Always got
wait.
to learn.
But no, like for real though, like relationships, they're fun, but when you learn, and that's any sort of relationship though. That could even be
Mhm.
a friendship. You know, you can look back at
Oh,
like,
definitely. We just talked about that.
you know, friends that you may have had fallen outs with, friends that you may not talk to anymore for whatever reason it may
Uh huh.
be, and you can learn lessons from that. So then, when you do get a new
Hmm.
friend around and have that friend, you don't repeat that. You know, maybe I didn't
Yeah.
reach out enough. Okay, well, you know, try to start reaching out, even if it's here and there, commenting on something, liking a post,
Yeah.
something. You know, like
Hell, I'll share the story again because I think it's a good one to tell. I was telling Shep before this that my best friend in the whole world, Phil, we talked about him last week. You've probably seen him on the old PCP, Phil and Chase podcast. It's one of those things in retrospect that like now that we don't do the podcast anymore, like it's like so difficult to be like, yeah, when Phil and I were doing PCP, and people are like, what?
excuse me.
But when Phil and I first became friends, November 2007, and it was like the end of eighth grade, maybe going into high school, like that summer. We got in one of the biggest fights we'd ever gotten in, ever. Like we got in this huge fight with each other. We quit talking to one another, to the point where our moms were like, just fucking talk to each other, get over it and talk to each other. You guys are best friends. Quit acting like that. And so, we met up, we squashed the beef. We were like, hey, sorry. When that happened, that fight just sucked so much and we hated it so much that we were like, we never want this to happen again. And to this day, we've been going strong since 2007. And to this day, we've never had a fight. We've definitely had our big fights. I slapped the motherfucker during a fight once, like we've definitely had our big fights, but like we never had a fight that big again. Like we never had a fight to the point where we quit talking to each other, that like, we were
No,
just
I
like,
feel that.
no, this friendship is over. I feel like that fight was one of those, things where it's like it could have been a big L, but that fight is like the base of our whole friendship. What we took from that fight is that we never want this to happen again. So we learned from it. We knew what, and like, that's just like when people are like, damn, like you and Phil, like your friendship is just like so crazy. Like we know how rare a friendship like ours is. Like we get it. Like we know we've seen a lot of other best friends who are just shit shows, like
Well, and
who,
like,
you
yeah,
know,
me and
don't
my best
boast the
friend
numbers.
are we always laugh about being like Jay and Silent Bob, and how
Hmm.
they call each other heterosexual life mates,
Yep.
and like
Yep.
literally, let's give some more props to my man, America's Moist Wanted Pudgy. Uh, he he's the only person in my life that like dead ass I could go out with him and get mad, but
Hmm.
like that next day, like playing to watch football with them, and I'll still go over there and be like, I don't want to talk to you right now, but I'm here, like
Right.
that's my guy, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. That is a very
Little firsthand experience with your friendship here.
we are each other's yin. Yeah, we really are, and it's a
It's actually
very
kind of funny because I think a lot of people assume we are like you and I, and that's not to say we're not best friends or anything, but like,
no, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we've only known each other for like 3 years now, and like, yeah, we do come across like we've known each other forever and shit, and we're super close and shit. But we
Well,
both
yeah,
have our own like
we all
people,
yeah
like,
we both have our own like separate like Silent
yeah,
Bobs or
homie, yeah,
Jays or whatever
exactly.
you want to say.
Our separate hetero life mates for sure.
But
Yeah.
like we have been that too, is the same as like somebody's that just clicked along the way, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, like this is a dude that, yeah, he's gonna have to be in the life because this is a good guy, and it's just clicked, and we've vibed and thrived since, because we share a lot of the same passions and thoughts and expressions and fucked upness in the past and stuff like that, and we get it. So like those things are very rare to come across. So yeah, you like,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things, like you had your lesson with your best friend back in the day, so now
Mhm.
like you carry that on with every friendship you come along the way of being like,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
like this person, I'm not going to do the Phil thing, like, and
Mhm.
it's one of,
Right, yeah, I
you
ain't trying to fight, yeah.
and you learned the lesson, and so you didn't really fail, it wasn't a failure at all,
Exactly.
it was a win, and it was a much needed win, and that's how I choose to look at a lot of aspects in life, because
Mhm.
life is weird like that, man. And you never know.
It really
Like
is.
one of my favorite things that I like to tell people about how weird life is, when you really stop to think about it, is two things, right? Okay, so one, my dad always told me that if it wasn't for the Beatles, I wouldn't be here, right? So I was like,
Mhm.
that's great to know. You and mom was listening to the Beatles that night. Cool.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when you think
Yeah.
about it, but when you think about that and you really break it down, and you're like, man, okay, so everybody within my bloodline from the very first motherfucker had to like get it on at the exact moment that they did, and get pregnant at the exact moment that they did, to produce all these people to create me in the first place. But not only
Mhm.
me, but every one of the Beatles fucking family trees and bloodlines as well had to do the same fucking
Yeah.
thing for me to exist right now. And it's wild when you
Peace
break
out,
that
Bell.
shit down. Oh, peace out, Bell. Have fun at work. I hope you get some customers up there. But and then another part that I like to say about this story is one of my friends, Corey, Corey Cunningham. He lives over in Indiana now. I met him when I was in the Navy, and
Mhm.
we became really good friends, really good homies. And I told him, I was like, "Yo, if you ever find yourself in a spot and you need somebody,
Yeah.
uh, I got plans. If you find yourself in a spot and you meet somebody, uh, or you find yourself in a spot and you need somebody, holla at your boy. I got you." I was like, "We're brothers for life. I got you." I was going back to Illinois at the time. He was staying in Florida. They was like, "Bet." About a year later, they hit me up like, "Yo, I need a place to go." I was like, "Bet,
Mhm.
bro. I got your back." So two of my buddies came. They stayed with me, and my brother ended up saying, "You either got to kick them out or you got to leave with them." So I left with them. I'm a man of my motherfucking word. When I tell somebody something, I mean that shit. Okay, let's just throw that out there. So
Mhm.
I was like, all right, then I guess we're leaving. So we left. Ended up moving in with my roommate I live with now. But like we didn't live at this place here at the time. But
Yeah.
um, anyway, to make it shorten, Corey ended up meeting a chick here, and they had two kids together.
Mhm.
They live back over in Indiana now, and where he grew up and all that shit. But it's just like, wow, like like, so that's two little people, two humans out there that I can literally say, if it was not for me, you would not exist at all.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Because
true.
I was the bridge. If I would have never met Corey, and me and him became close, and me telling him I got your
Mhm.
back, he would have never met his, I believe now, wife, and had these children with her, and they would have never became a thing. She would have had some kids with some other
Mhm.
people. I believe they would have been completely different little humans that came out of her than what came out of her, because obviously genetics and DNA and stuff like that. But those little things.
That kind of stuff.
But like, it's really crazy when you stop and think about these little mundane things that we don't really realize, or you know all these were failures. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mhm.
failed and came back to Illinois. He failed and came to Illinois too. He's too afraid to go home. And now you know
Mhm.
these two fucking people are on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And these all came from failures. But at the time, we didn't get to
Yeah.
see the success that lay beyond our grasp. You know what I mean? Because we can't see the future. But those kind of circumstances in life has always led me to believe that instead of looking at the downside of things, because you can really look at the downside of everything if you want to, look at the
Oh, for
upside of it.
sure.
Look at that. Look at that. Like,
Mhm.
like I even went through that
Perspective.
perspective. I even went through that little situation myself where it's like, you know, if a person wrongs you, should you give them some, a second chance? But it's like,
Mhm.
a lot of people will be like, fuck no, you dumb.
Yeah.
They showed their true
Yeah.
self. You should never,
Exactly. Yeah.
you should never do that again. Like blah blah blah. But it's like, yeah, but like, what if that had to happen for something else to happen to free up this to happen now?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like because life is like that. You never know.
Absolutely.
And and those are those things that it's like that's why for me
Everything happens for a reason.
it
Yeah,
does.
it's
And
all
that's
leading to something, whether you like it or not, whether it's good, it's bad. I think it was John once. He put it like, fuck, he may have even said it on our show once. The good days are the reward.
yeah,
The bad days are the lessons. The good days are the reward.
I vibe with that
And
big time.
I completely agree, for sure,
Mhm.
for sure. Uh,
I
well,
went off on a tangent there.
with that lull, I'd say we're about at our time.
Yeah, we
Um,
are at about our time anyway. Yeah, I think everybody was
yeah,
like, "All
so
right, man." They kind of went ham today. I feel like I was more vibe than normal. My bad.
I know for one that we didn't come up with till like 10 minutes before we started. This one, it's
I
just
was in
how
a
we
talk.
vibe. That's just how
I
we
was in
roll.
a talking mood.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, off days, lean into that shit. Lean into it. Don't be afraid of the off days. Go with the flow. Go against the flow. It seems like a paradox, but it's all that weird shit. I've easy and I have talked about it before, where it's like the things that work the best in life are usually the things that make no sense.
Exactly.
Like if you were to
Exactly.
explain it to somebody and go, "That's bullshit. That makes no sense." Yeah, but it works. The proof is in the pudding. Like it's there. Like it may not make any sense to you, but it works. So, you know but yeah, lean into those off days. Don't be afraid of them. It's what you need. It's going to lead you to all sorts of paths. You never know what these failures are going to bring you to in life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fail forward. You know,
I like it.
uh, I can't take credit for that one. Easy said that yesterday. I'm like, I like it, just like you did just now. I was like, ooh, I like that.
I
Yeah,
like
fail
that.
forward. Yeah, yeah,
It's the whole theme from now until the end of October. Failing forward.
yep. Hey, it's the year of the spider. We already know Spidey's about to take a big old L. We know he's about to fail, and he's going to learn from that. So we'll see when the year of the spider concludes. So,
That's very true. That's very
and then
true.
we get into the year of the strange. Strange.
Strange Batman.
Alrighty. Okay, that's enough.
All right, man.
We will see
Catch you
everybody
Wednesday.
on Wednesday. Get a little weird
Mm-hmm.
like we usually do. Peace.
Smooch.